Hello and welcome back, friends. If you're new around here, I'm Big Gator. If you came looking for the sharpest tennis bets, you're right where you belong. Right now we are covering ATP Almaty, Brussels, and Stockholm. Second half of the second round. So get yourself involved. Let me see what you got going on in the comments below. And if you would like to play along with what I'm playing, you can check out the pinned comment. If you also happen to like the breakdown of these matches, please give this video a like. It goes a super long way. I appreciate those that do. And if you'd like to get my picks as soon as I upload, or you'd like to just support the channel, you can subscribe. It's the fastest way to do so. And I really appreciate those that do. We've gone over 600 subs. It's crazy. I appreciate everybody. Let's keep growing. Let's hopefully get to 700 and keep it pushing. And if you feeling generous for any type of way, any sense of the word, there's a link in the pinned comment if you'd like to donate, as well as a link to my free Discord, a respectful place where you can come talk about tennis. All right? And with that being said, what are we looking like for today? Had some iffy plays, but they ended up banging for us, so happy with what we got. We took Royer to get us a set against Bonzi. He got that, but couldn't get the win, so we didn't take that, thank goodness. But I did play him on DraftKings, as well as Kamil Maishak going against Korda. Same outcome, right? Lost 2-1, but we got our one that we needed. So grateful for that. Another day in the books. Got a shorter slate today. I think they're only giving us second round, as I said before. So we're only going to focus on that, and we can start talking more about quarterfinals tomorrow. All right. Just a heads up. These next few days, it's going to be a bit rough. I'll be having a video tomorrow, but the next 2 days after that, it's going to be probably no video. So I will probably be posting in my Discord. But let's move on. And our first match is going to be in Almaty. Vukic going against Michelsen. Alex versus Alexander. And this is going to be their third head-to-head, but this is the first time they've played in about 2 years. So Michelsen's won in each time, both at the challenger level. You have to have an ATP win against him. And Vukic dropped a set to Topo, who we didn't know anything about. But he hasn't been playing terribly, to be quite frank. Michelsen, outside of his win today, was on a 5-match losing streak. So we were hoping that he was going to turn around here. He does play well on these courts. So going against Vukic, though, who did make it to the quarterfinals in Tokyo on the hard courts, and does have a relatively high win rate on the indoor. He's 52-33 across all seasons with a 61% win rate. Michelsen is 38-15, which gives him a 71% win rate, but you can tell by the numbers that, you know, one person's playing a bit more. Vukic. So there is a bit of a chance here that I think that there's no chance at all. It's what it is. Michelsen is the favorite at minus 178, and Vukic is the dog at plus 146. Interesting. I bet Michelsen getting a set is worth dog shit. Yep, minus 480. Vukic to get a set is minus 182. I like those odds, honestly. I'm not going to touch this match because I just kind of want to see which Alex. I want to see how this match ends up. I know that most likely it's going to be a close one. I know it's going to be probably a long one. Their last match was a 3-setter, even though that was back on the grass in 2023, but and a challenger. But I think that this may be a bit closer than people think. That's why, I mean, the books don't think so. They think it'll be decently close. The games are set at 23.5, so I'd alt it down. Probably worth nothing, but maybe 21.5 minus 225. 20.5 minus 300. Up to you guys. If you think Vukic is going to win, I would maybe advise going for the spread. Maybe taking the and I think if you think he wins, like take him on a minus 1.5. That's plus 175. If you think he's just going to win, because if he's going to win, he's going to win by at least 2 games. I don't think he's going to have a set where he loses like 6-2, for example. I think the match will be close the whole time. That's just my thought. I'm Just my recommendation. But we'll move on. The next match that we do have is going to be Luciano Darderi going against Shintaro Mochizuki. And this is going to be their first head-to-head. We just saw Darderi lose to Musetti in Shanghai. That was a bit disappointing. And that's tiebreak in the second set. Lost 7-1. Crazy. But, hey, beat Boo, though. And then we have Mochizuki, who beat Kazuo, which, I mean, this is the game we play, right? Like, who saw that coming? It was a close match, though, 6-4, 6-4, just one breakaway each set. So, he was just percentage-wise, he played better. That was that 1% kicking in, you know? That 1% difference. Anyway, indoor hard courts, this will be the 6th match for Luciano Darderi ever in his career. He went 1-4 last season, but we have been seeing him improve his game on the indoor or on the hard courts this season. It's been slight, but we have been seeing the improvement. He's not just a clay player to me anymore. I think he is an up-and-coming contender on a hard court. I give him another season or so, and I think around this time next season we should expect a little bit different of a outcome. But Mochizuki is a hard court player. Doesn't play much on the indoor courts. This will be his 39th, maybe, or 35th match. So very low, very low. 1-1 so far this season, though, with a 42% win rate. Darderi has about a 16% win rate. So do with that as you will. And is the price? Okay. Minus 166. Favorite for Darderi. A bit crazy, being as though the dude just beat Arthur Kazuo. Kazuo loses to Darderi on the clay. I don't know if this transfers over in the same argument, the way I usually use that argument, but I don't see why this would be any different. If he can beat Kazuo, so can Darderi. So I don't know if that means that he can. Wait a minute. He just lost to Kazuo. That's right. So, you never know with tennis, man. This is like one of those things where I honestly couldn't tell you. Like, I would love to take Darderi for a set, but it's minus 400. So what's it really worth? If you get him for a spread, he's at minus. So I'm not taking him at a minus 2.5 spread against a guy who beat Kazuo by 4 games. So I would just leave it alone. Me personally, I'm not going to touch it. And our next match is going to be Adam Walton going against Daniel Medvedev. Medvedev made it to the semifinals in Shanghai in the Masters. Lost in 3 sets, but he played a damn good match. He's been looking good out here. Walton went against Schoolkate, and in their head-to-head history, remember they played earlier in Cincinnati, and Medvedev ended up losing in 3 sets, winning just the tiebreak. But Medvedev, he's got a 67% win rate on the hard court. Adam Walton has a 44. All right. Now, I'm going off of the wind turbulence that we've been getting from Medvedev recently, and I think that he's, oh my God, here they go again. Minus 850. What is this? Bro, he has not beaten this guy. How are these the odds? Nah, bro. Just because of that, bro. Something is up. Something's got to be up. Adam Walton for a set is plus 152. I don't know if he can do it right now, but I like it. I like it. Beating Tristan Schoolkate is with 2 tie breaks required. I don't know how I feel about that, but I think that he's played against Medvedev. He didn't play against this Medvedev, though. If this is the same Medvedev we got last week, he's cooked. Sardine cooked. But he will cover a spread, though. I think that he can keep it relatively close. Maybe, maybe not. The bet I'd go for here is Medvedev under 12.5 games. That's what I would do. Just to test the waters out, you know? But that's the most even money thing you can get for taking Medvedev for this entire match. If you think he's going to win, I would go for the under 12.5. It's if you think he gets pushed because he lost a set to this guy last time, then hey. But we saw him get through Demonar pretty convincingly. Went through Falkina in straight sets. Went through Sergina in straight sets. The only person that gave him trouble was Rune and Lerner Tien. So, I don't put Adam Walton in that category whatsoever. And that's no offense to him. No offense to him. But we will move on. Our next and final match that we got going on in Almaty is going to be Mr. Karen Khachanov going against Jean-Leonard Struff. And this is going to be their 7th head-to-head. And funny enough, they've never played on an outdoor hard court, but this will be their 4th head-to-head on an indoor hard court. 2nd at the ATP level. And whenever they play, it goes to 3 sets. So, that's only... Oh, well... I say that, but the last time they played was in 2022. So, from 2016 to 2022, they played 3-setters. Maybe nowadays, not so much. Khachanov did lose to Jerry Shang. He's been on a bit of a stinker since the U.S. Open. Lost to Mike Shack. Lost to Muller and Shang, which is 2 people that I would expect him to be able to beat. But Struff beat McDonald. Doesn't really mean much to me. I called that one. But I don't know. I would go for Khachanov. Where is he at? Minus 260 to win. It's not a terrible price for him. I'm not too mad at that. If you like how Struff's been playing, if you saw those highlights, take him for a set. But I would go for the money line here. It's good money. Going for Karen Khachanov. When you know his record on the indoor hard courts as of recently in comparison to Struff's. He went 14-3 last season, right? Due to his almost successes in Vienna and Paris. But it started here in Almaty, where he had some true success. He did win the title here. He went through Otto Vertanen, Bibek Zukayev, Vukic, and Diallo in the final. So this is a place where he's looking to get his get back. He does play well on this surface. And last year was the year where he realized so. Put him at a 61% win rate, which is 2% above Struff, who has a 4-3 record this season and a 59% win rate. Went about 5-6 last season. Pretty bad. Didn't take place in this tournament whatsoever, but just looking at how he's played recently, he did get to the 4th round in the U.S. Open. Got through Tiafoe, Holger Rune, Mac McDonald, Arthur Cazot. Very impressive. He is older, though. He's 35 years old, so he's got about 6 years on Khachanov. Khachanov's number 10 in the world, man. I would expect this guy to get it done, but I said the same thing about Musetti, who is number 9. So you never know, man. You just never know. He's been on a bit of a stinker, too, so be careful. Maybe Struff for a set. If you were impressed with what you saw from him yesterday or the day before, then take him. Take him. Because we haven't seen much from this Khachanov in about a week and a half. If you like what you see from this guy recently, go off of that for him. Or get him to cover the spread. Ult it up to plus 4.5. See what that's worth. Probably like 500. Minus 360. Close enough. But we'll move on. Thank you all for tuning in for Almaty. We will move our way into Brussels, where our first match is going to be Nikoloz Basilashvili going against Giovanni Mpetshi Perricard. All right? And these guys have played each other a total of once in a final in a clay challenger in Bordeaux in France just earlier this year. But what do we see here? A tiebreak. Nothing new here. Tie breaks for Gio is so common. His last match against Emil Rusuruori, sorry, 2 tie breaks. Match against Holger Rune, 3 sets, lost in 3 sets, had a second set tie break. Lost to Taylor Fritz, got broken in both sets. Luca Nardi, second set tie break. Musetti, first 2 sets tie break. Shevchenko, first 2 sets tie break. Misalic beat his ass somehow, ridiculously. Musetti, first set tie break. Just like, it goes on. It goes on. Basilashvili has already played tie break in qualies against Pierre Hughes Humbert. So we'll see. I think that's probably the best outcome for this match. Because Gio plays well on the hard courts, but he barely won that match. So I don't know if that's like, I don't know. Basilashvili, he went against Kontan Elise. I didn't see those highlights, to be quite frank with you, but I will look at the stats of that match real quick. His return game was strong. I mean, there was 12 aces on him, but he still ended up winning the match and breaking him. So that makes me think that if he was able to do it to Gio on clay, he might be able to adjust a bit. Kontan Elise does not have the same serve as Gio, obviously, but I think that he maybe take Gio for a few aces then. You know? I don't know what that line is at. They don't have it up for me just yet in these books. But Gio going over 13.5 games, I think is definitely in the books. That's probably some plus money. Yep, plus 110. I'm not going to be taking this match. Bit too volatile. Gio's the favorite at minus 172. Good ass price to take him at if you wanted to get some parlay pieces together. But yeah. We'll see here. Our next match we have is Damir Dzumhur going against Felix Auger-Aliassime. And this is going to be their third head-to-head. It has gone 1-1 between them. Dzumhur did win back in 2017 and a challenger on clay. And Felix won back in 2020 on the indoor hard court. Went to a 3-setter, both matches. Now we know, there's one thing we know about Dzumhur. He is a set 2 bandit. This is the set 2 bandit. I be telling y'all, man. He is a set 2 bandit. I don't know how he does it, but when he is, I thought he was cooked, honestly. After that tiebreak against China today, then he came back and won the set 6-2. Like, this is what I'm saying. I don't know how he does that shit. He just activates. He will always get you a set when you need it, but usually it'd be in that second set, bro. That middle point of the match is when he always comes back. For that set, at least. Anyway. Felix made it to the quarterfinals in Shanghai. Played decently well. Rune just kind of was on a level of unseen form from him in quite some time. And deservingly so, he made it to the final. But he did get to Musetti, De Jong, and Tabilo. And also, don't forget, he made it to the semifinals in the U.S. Open, taking a set off Yannick. So, this new Felix, I feel like I can trust him, but I wanna think that we get a set 2 bandit, man. A set 2 bandit is, I feel it. I would go for a Felix spread here. What's the spread at? 4.5. Let's put it at 3.5. All right. How about that? What's that priced at? Minus 310. They playing, bruh. See, I'm totally uninterested now. But anyway, indoor hardcourt record, if it matters to you. I know you. If you guys don't know, Felix plays on this surface. This guy, Dzumhur, plays on clay. Felix has a 68% win rate on this surface. Dzumhur has a 56%. So, 12% difference should tell you everything you need to know. Beats him by how bad? I don't know. Felix so far 4-1 on the hard courts indoors this season. So that was way back in February. So maybe give him a second to see how he's playing. But I think he doesn't have to adjust to anything. He had a pretty decent break, right? He's had about 5 days off. So no jet lag from Shanghai, right? At this point, it's been about half a week. So he should be good to go, acclimated and in form still, hopefully. Best way to know is to watch the first match he plays in a tournament. That's my advice. I like to stay away from certain things if I'm not trying to get fucked over and like don't want to be like, I knew that would happen. Like if I'm trying to like safely negate losses or like trying to like safely negate any type of fuckery, I kind of take the people that I have seen do well as well as what I know they're capable of, and as what their stats say recently as well. If all those things add up, then it's a no-brainer. That's kind of what you're looking for, honestly. And here, I would think Felix can get the spread, but this is like the price isn't good enough. So I'm going to move on. But Felix is going to win. If you want to take him in straights, take him in straights. But Dzumhur is the set 2 bandit, so just be careful of that. He took one off Alcaraz, so it's minus 220 for Felix to win in straights, but it's plus 300 for Dzumhur to take a set and Felix for still to win it all. I kind of like that smoke, but moving on. Next match we have is Lorenzo Musetti going against Yannick Hanfmann. And this is going to be their 5th head-to-head, first time on a hard court. They've always played on the clay, most recently in Paris in a straight set win for Musetti, where he bageled him in the 3rd set. Crazy. And then we have Hanfmann, who won in 2023 in straight sets in Madrid. But like I said, this is the first time on a hard court. And it's indoors, so how you gonna act, boys? Both of your records are pretty bad, except for Hanfmann, who's 5-0 so far this season. 4-5 for Musetti last season. Nothing this year so far. So, getting bageled on clay this year by this man makes me worried that you don't have it in you to get a set. It was 7-5 in the first set. The last set ended in a bagel. So what happened? I'm not going to think about it too hard. I don't care enough. I would think Hanfmann gets a set, though. I think he can produce something at this point in time. He's playing really well. Took a set off Djokovic in Shanghai, right? So maybe don't count him out. Hanfmann for a set. Call me crazy and say shame on me, but I think he's playing well enough. If he can take I know he dropped sets to like random people like Arnaldi and Colson. Maybe I shouldn't neglect that. But it's always a straight set win or loss for Musetti as of recently, unless he plays Gio. So I don't know. It seems like it's kind of a coin toss here. Honestly, I would go for Hanfmann just because he's worth more. But yeah. And last but not least, in the second round in Brussels, we have Vukic van de Zandschulp going against Elliot Spizzirri. And we have Vukic and Spizzirri in their first head-to-head. Vukic is 1-4 so far this season indoors and 7-8 last season, but still has a damn near 63% win rate indoors. And Spizzirri 7-1 this season, 65% win rate, but only has played about 26 matches in total in his entire career. Vukic played over 140, so sample size a bit bigger, but the percentage is not. So that's a bit telling there. Hopefully, Vukic doesn't turn Elliott into some straight, Brussels sprouts. got him looking crazy on the court. I think Vukic is, when he's in good form, he is really hard to beat. But Spizzirri did mop the floor upside down with that boy Pedro Martinez. He also went through qualities pretty convincingly, only having to drop a set in his first match, in the very, very first set. But as far as seasons are going, Spizzirri's having a stupid season on the hard court, going 46-27. Ridiculous across all surfaces. But 34-15 is his hard court record this season, like indoor or outdoor. So I think Spizzirri is an up and comer that I think we should be on the lookout for. He's great. I think that he may be able to cover a spread here. Call me crazy. Or even push Vukic a bit further, over 13.5 games, 12.5 games even. I don't hate that. But I also like Spizzirri to cover the spread more. Minus 260 for him to cover the plus 4.5. Now that's I like that. Do I love it? I don't know yet. But that covers everything going down in Brussels. Next, we move down to Stockholm in Sweden, where we have 5 matches out of the 4 we've been covering like usual. But we will start with quite a crazy one. We have Lorenzo Sonego going against Alexander Kovacevic. And this is going to be their first head-to-head. This is going to be an interesting one, though. I swear it's going to be something goofy's going to go down. I swear. Double faults I can see happening in this match for Sonego. Having to figure out a serve around Kovacevic, who returns decently well against servers like him, who just want to hit the ball hard as hell. Kovacevic is 13-3 this season on the indoors. Sonego is 3-2. Win rate is 60% for Kovacevic. Sonego has a 56. As far as games they play about the same amount, damn near. Sonego a little bit more because of the age, but that's about it. Outside of his straight set win to Arthur Ferry, who I thought could maybe get a set, couldn't. This guy can for sure get a set. This is probably going to be a 3-setter, as the first time they're playing each other. I would really expect this to go to a 3-set outcome. Just with how Sonego is, oh yeah. Kovacevic to get a set here. I know it sounds crazy. Ugo Carabelli, he was beating him up, about to bagel him, then he retired 4-0 in the third set. But he had a close match with him. I think it's going to be the same. Might be better to take over total games. Don't go for an actual outcome here. I don't like the 22 number, so I will go for the 19.5, but it's minus 340. That's worth nothing. Minus 215 to go over 20.5. I think that's a fair number for these guys. Kovacevic plays long matches. He's been playing nothing but 3-setters. So and Sonego isn't new to a 3-setter either. You know that much. You know he's gonna give you a 3-setter every now and again. More times than not, honestly. And with a matchup like this, I would expect him to actually be able to take a set and lose a set. So I do actually like the 3 sets more and more as I think about it. Because Kovacevic does play. What was his record this year? He almost won Montpellier, right? Earlier this year. That's when I got hip to him. He won ODS as well. That was in January. So he plays well on the indoor courts, and he did it this year. He didn't do well much last year, but he turned it up coming into this year. And he seemingly is still doing well. So I like him to get a set. I like for Sonego to get a set. You want to take it to go to 3 sets, it's plus 140. Over 20.5 games, minus 215. Whichever one you choose. It's up to you. Next match we have is Tomas Martin Etcheverry going against Ymer Kecmanovic. And this is going to be their third head-to-head when they have seemingly played each other only in Paris, but indoors and on clay. This will be their first time playing in the past 2 years. Those matches were in 2023 and 2. But they'll be playing for the first time in indoor hard courts in Stockholm against each other. Took Etcheverry 3 sets to get rid of Marc Leal, which, like I said, you better stop playing with Tomas Etcheverry. Stop playing with him. Here he is. Kecmanovic had a straight smoke show on Muller. He was like, I think not. Third outcome goes to me. You know my daddy. You not my daddy. So, we have a great comeback and a great form looking on Kecmanovic in that win. But Etcheverry, man, what can you say about that match? He played a fuck of a match. He was down 3-0 in the third set. Came back and won 6-3. He was down 0-3, I'm sorry. Came back and won 6-3. Dog shit. That's what a real true dog does. Comes back from the dead. Gets it done. What do you think? You think Kecmanovic is able to beat him? On the indoor hard courts, he wasn't able to do it last time. I think Etcheverry he's a dog again, bro. Kecmanovic played well, but Muller's good, but I don't know. Like, the dog is not in him. Etcheverry, though. Minus 194 set. I think he can do it for us. I trust it. I'll move on. Next, we have Ugo Humbert going against Mr. Matteo Berrettini. Calvin Klein Martini. And this is going to be their fourth head-to-head. Berrettini has been smoking him the last 3 times they've played. The only win that Ugo had was on the challenger level back in 2017, but they haven't played each other since 2023, so it's been some time. Both of these guys have been in iffy form. They seemingly only can get past the first round. So, I won't be touching this match. Berrettini looked good. I would think he would win this time around. Ugo hasn't been looking the greatest, so, and being as though he seemingly plays well against lefties, but he did lose against Mannarino lost against Berrettini. But he beats Etcheverry. So, going against another lefty is, hey, he's informed to do so. So, I would actually lean on Berrettini this time around, even though I don't think he's trustworthy to bet on right away. Let me see if he's on the... Yeah, Berrettini may be safe to take here. If you don't feel comfortable enough for him for a set's minus 330, so you might as well just go balls deep into it and just take the full money line. Ugo is 5-0 on the indoor hard courts this season. Berrettini's 1-1. Ugo went 11-4. This is like his best surface, if you guys don't know. So, Ugo is a fucking beast on indoor hard courts, like, without a question. So, I do really think that if this is his time to come out of his fucking shell, he should do so very quickly. His last wins was a final in Marseille, right? So, his last win was in a final. His last loss was in a final. So, hopefully this form comes back, because I want to see Ugo beat this guy. I want to see Berrettini actually sit down again, come back a little bit later. I want to see Ugo get a little bit far in this tournament. But I might be playing him on DraftKings, to be quite frank with you. I don't know if I can put the money line on him just yet. I got to see what I'm seeing in that match tomorrow, to be sure. But with that, I'll move on. And our next match is going to be Rune going against Marton Fucsovics. And this is going to be their second head-to-head. They played twice, or they played once before, back in 2023. Went 6-3, 7-5. Can you guess who? Rune, yes, in straight sets. About a 44 rank difference between them at this point in time, 11 and 44, or 55, I'm sorry. And Rune just lost to Vacheron, who ended up taking the entire Shanghai Masters, so fair play there. Lost to him only, but he did take a tiebreak, or lost in a tiebreak. Yes. But beat Gio and Ugo and Sebastian Baez before losing to Vacheron. Then we have Fucsovics, who had a pretty fucking convincing win against De Jong, who just looked like he was honestly just out of it. Like 6 double faults. Jesus. First serve percentage was a bit low. Second serve points won 6 out of 16, so just like not a great game for him. But somehow Fucsovics didn't play that much better, but still won. Like stat wise, it didn't look that much better, but he beat his ass. So break points out the wazoo. Call it a day. I want to say that Holger is not going to really go out like a punk against Fucsovics, because he is someone that is very good on the indoor hard courts, but Holger is definitely the best one. I don't know what he's seeded in this tournament. What is it? Oh, he's the number 1 seed. Well, yeah. So I actually am not mad at that. It's been some time since he's won a title on the indoor hard court. By the graces of God, he won that one in Paris back in 2022, where Alcaraz retired, and then right before tiebreak, retired at 6-6, and then he ended up beating Felix and Novak to carry out his win. So crazy run, beat Rublev in the process too. But it's been some time since we've seen that Holger. He did get to the semifinals last year, but we'll see what he does this year, building up to it. He did not too bad in Montpellier, but not too bad in Basel either, which is coming up soon. That's going to be next week. So we'll see. We'll see with Holger. We'll see what we get from Holger. I think he can get this win here. Let's see what the price is at. Stupid favorite, obviously. Oh, minus 190. See? I told you. Funny. I don't know. I might leave this match alone. Play Holger on DraftKings because I'm not too confident in him getting this win here. Even though I know he's gonna win. I just don't know for sure. Like, so that's my 2 cents on that. I'll move on to our last match, which is going to be Jacob Fearnley going against Elias Ymer, who did beat his brother as the underdog. Crazy. 3-0'd him. Crazy. His own blood. Crazy. Used his brother to break his loss streak. It's nasty work. Crazy work. But, nonetheless, Fearnley just beat Talon Grigspor in a double tiebreak. What the fuck? Very crazy. I think that's enough to say that he beats Ymer. Ymer beating his brother, who basically lost to himself from all the mistakes he was making. He's minus 500 to win Fearnley. Yeah, I mean, straight set win for Fearnley here if he's playing this well again. It's minus 155. That's poppycock. But that wraps out everything for me. But before I do wrap up everything, let me tell you the stats in the indoor hard courts one more time for ya. For Fearnley, he is 5-3 so far this season. Went 25 and 26 and 5, which is a challenger. But he's got an 80% win rate on the indoor hard courts, and Ymer has a 54% win rate. Okay. He's only played 50 matches or 60 matches, but he's 48 and 12. indoors. But like I said, they were all ITF level, challenger level. This level, he's a bit hot and cold. So, depending on the play style, you know, some certain matchups trump others out of nowhere, right? Like, we never thought that Zverev and Rinderknecht, we never thought that would be a thing, right? But look at that. 2-0 Rinderknecht against Zverev. So, certain things happen with certain people's matchups where it just doesn't add up, and we can't predict that all the time. So I'm not going to sit here and try to. But that does wrap up everything for me. I appreciate you guys stopping along, seeing what I had going on. And yeah, catch you guys in the next one. Looking forward to the next video. It's going to be quarterfinals, so let's keep carrying out some wins. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow. I love you all. Be smooth. Be nice.